don't you feel we're never alone when Allah's so near? Hush, little baby, breathing so calm. He'll protect us all and keep us from harm. Hush, little baby, still and serene. You are a Muslim, Islam's your deen. Hush, little baby, pure and small.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to a new episode under the title of Our Schools, How Can We Make Them Better? Or Our Schools, Are They Moving On? Are They Improving? Last time we were discussing the issue of the qualities of an excellent lesson. Know the subject matter. Even you are not specialized in geography or mathematics or physics, you can enter a class and you can give it excellent or outstanding without knowing the subject matter, right? So if you see these things, you can judge. And we were talking about the type of questions. We mentioned three things, and one of them was the type of questions, the challenging question. Now, I want to understand from you, how do you want to see to judge the direction of the question? Teacher, student, student, teacher, one way or two ways or three ways? Do you understand what I'm saying? In most of the lessons we find it's one way, right? It's coming from here to here. And this is really very, very negative, particularly in language classes. You find all the students in language classes are able to respond, but they are not able to ask. The reason is they had never been given an opportunity to ask. So now we move from the concept of one-way questions to two-way questions, right? Okay, so the teacher would ask and would all the time give the students an opportunity to ask questions. Okay, I'll come to this right now, but this is not enough. This is not enough. It's not one way or two ways. It should be three ways. I hope you get this very clear. It's not one way, it's not two ways, it's three ways. Question would be raised from here. A sister would comment and said, excuse me, I have a comment here. You're going to a wrong direction. He didn't ask you this question, would interfere and would put in input. Then another brother would respond to her. And the teacher would say, I don't think this is all right. We need to look at it from a different perspective. Then another types of directions that you can imagine. The three is the minimum, which is teacher to student, student to teacher, student to students. I hope you understand this. And it's very easy to remember, but it's very difficult to apply in class because we teachers love to speak. And that's why I think Sheikh Yasser Fazaqa, when he came here, he said this rule: don't give an imam or a teacher a microphone, right? And don't give a sister a telephone, right? Because we love to speak much. We teachers and imams love to speak more. So you need to change this. One time I went to a teacher in a class and it was the last 7 minutes. And then after we finished, he said that, what's your opinion about the class? I said that, are you an imam? He said, yes. How did you know? I said that I don't need to explain. Then please explain. I said that you didn't allow anybody to participate with you. Just talking, 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 talking. This is not a teacher style. A teacher type, as I said, that he would leave the people to talk. Now I want you to raise some questions for me, and I want you to apply this. So let's make the dialogue three-dimensional. Who can challenge? Who wants to challenge me with a question? One says, I don't like what you're saying, Ustad. This one time I made a training course in Michigan. And I spent 3 days. Yes. From my perspective, it was wonderful, but I changed my mind at the end. In the last session, sister came to me. She said that, Mamdouh, your approach of teaching is wonderful, but I'm not going to apply it in my school. I said, okay, why did you pay me $5,000? You should have saved this. You should have said to the principal, we want to save the money. But now you paid me the money and you said that I didn't want to to apply what you said. I said that this is a loss of money. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, now challenge me with some questions, or challenge each other with some questions. One would say that, Mamdouh, not everything that you say is right because of such and such. Challenge me with.
You're saying, I mean, the class should be interactive, questions should be there, close
Say it again.
questions, open-ended. You're saying that, interactive class should be there. I mean, with,
Yeah.
open-ended questions, closed questions. What happens actually, the teachers are actually burdened with syllabus. I mean, they need to complete the syllabus, and they have given, very limited time to complete the portions. I mean, the learning should take place in limited time.
Okay.
So I mean, the teachers keep on talking and interacting. So and even the students actually, what they do is, I mean, once they know, they realize, okay, lots talking is happening. Even they take part, and I mean, sometimes go out of board.
Okay. So what I understand from your saying that you can step in. What I understand is that you're talking nonsense, and the teacher should talk all the time to cover the syllabus, right? This is how it should work. You see? Now, even before I answer, she should respond. We want the classrooms to be like this, in a very polite way, very disciplined way. Students are, yes, getting across. Yes, sister?
Brother, I feel that the teacher should know to have the control over the class.
That's exactly what I said.
Right.
You don't control, not full control. Okay. One concept, I was relaying it when I talk about curriculum. Very briefly, most of the teachers make the textbook their masters, and indirectly they are slaves of this master. Whatever the master tells them to do, they do. I don't think that they are good teachers. What we are trying to teach them to free themselves from being slaves of the textbook. We want to make the teachers masters of the textbook, not slaves of the textbooks, right? Islam came to free us from slavery to human beings, and we are applying the same thing. You have, any teacher, by the way, knows about his or her classroom more than the author of the textbook. The author of the textbook did not see the textbook in action. He had seen the textbook sleeping in bed. But you teachers, we teachers, we see the curriculum in action. We see the textbook in action. We see what works and what doesn't work. We see what needs to be reinforced and what needs to be decreased. We know where we put our effort, and we know where not to put our effort. And we should know that parts of the questions in the textbooks are not challenging. So if I wear you an exercise that has 1 to 10 points, I would take number 2 and would take number 8 because they are most challenging and they need my support. So I answer them. The rest, you do them at home. And we come tomorrow to discuss them. Or I bring an answer sheet and I give it to everyone, and each one can correct himself or herself. I will talk about the evaluation later. But we want to make you masters of the textbooks. The textbook is not a master. That's why you enter the classroom with different textbooks. One which has been prescribed by your school, other ones that you need to use because it has something that's not mentioned. No textbook in the world is complete. Only one book, it's the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any other textbook, you can put your own input in it. Okay, I know that the teacher is between lots of pressures. Pressure from the administration, from the leaders of the school, pressure from the parents, pressure from the size of the book that he or she teaches, right? There are lots of pressures. But an experienced teacher, nobody is gonna put a lot of pressure on him. I know my subject matter, I know what I did, and here's the quality of my students. If you can bring something like them, right, show me. I am quite sure of what I'm doing in the class. There are some questions that need the presence of the teacher in classroom to answer them, right? And the teacher is a very precious piece of commodity, right? Very precious. You cannot be with every student at home. Can we? You cannot. So when you are selecting the exercises and the tasks that you're doing, do the things with them that they cannot do them by themselves at home. And you have to be smart. You have to engage the student with studying at home. And when we cut the relationship between the student and studying, by the end of the school day, you see he has or she has limited amount of hours to learn. We want to extend these hours home. That's why we need to give them some assignments. Give them some easy assignments, some projects to work on. There should be something like teaching, and this is not just in the classroom. So what I'm saying, that other ones that can be done at home, they can do it at home, and you come here and answer. All the questions, the closed questions, you don't need to do them in class. They're so simple. You don't need to exert an effort for the child to go through a page to get the answer that he was born in Berlin. Yes, this is very good, and we'll come back to this, which is teachers have to do their homework before they come to the class. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hush, little baby, breathing so calm.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. We are going to continue our discussion. We had a wonderful question here by a brother. Can you please repeat it?
The teachers have to do their lesson,
Yes.
their homework first.
Yes. We're talking about the homework of the students, but we don't talk about the homework of the teachers.
This is very crucial.
Very crucial. Yes, I do agree.
Because if the teachers do not do their homework, which could be probably after the period, in their staff room, or go home and do it. There is no excuses for the teachers that they didn't have the time, they had, to look after the family. First of all, they should understand their responsibility. Here we have to play a major role. The teachers of these schools should take the moral responsibility when they have come to this profession, that they spare valuable time to understand and do time management.
Wonderful.
I've heard a lot of other brothers telling that, teachers are burdened with syllabus. Yes, sure. But the teachers have to do their homework properly to understand the whole concept, and only then they have to go and talk to the child. If they can manage that 45 minutes with question and answers as well.
I expected somebody to respond. If the teacher doesn't, if the teachers, yes, and the principals, now I'm trying to apply the concept of three-way interaction. If the teacher notices that it's not working, he has to make it work. I've seen one teacher, she has prepared, she's a Palestinian teacher. She has prepared all the lessons for the whole year. And it was amazing. This was the only teacher I've seen in my life doing that. All the lessons that will be taught during the year. This is an example. If we can raise the level of teachers to be that level, now we are going to create lots of leaders, inshallah. So the teachers, when they do the lesson at home, and that's why, no wonder when we go to a classroom, we find the teachers sitting in the back relaxing, and the students are on the stage, they are doing everything. We love to see that, because it is the teacher who made those students do this job. It's not the students who made themselves. They are the product of the teacher. We need to get the teacher. Now, they've done a lot of work outside, now they need to relax. They relax, they direct, they facilitate. They facilitate the lesson. They don't teach the lesson. They facilitate it. This concept, we need to spread it. Yes, you do effort at home, and you do effort from the beginning. I remember some of the classes that I took in the USA that we used in the very beginning, we used to have something called learning contract. The teacher would make a learning contract with each one of us, learning contract. From the very beginning, he would say, Mamdouh, we have 10 tasks that you need to finish in order to pass this course. The tasks are exams, projects, research paper, whatever you suggest. So 10 items. I say that, oh, I'm scared of exams. I don't like exams. He says, okay, I'm not going to give you any exam. What else can you do? From the very beginning, teacher would make a contract with the student, with each student. Said that I have 4 items that you have to select from them. You can select all of them here, it's up to you. But you have to select 10, right? These 10 are, some of them are exams, some of them are presentations, some of them are projects, some of them are research paper. Okay, one student would say that, oh, I'm afraid of exams. I don't like exams. So drop the exam. He said, it's okay. Teacher is very flexible. Yes, very flexible. Okay. And instead, I want you to make either presentations or write research paper or projects. He would say, okay, I love research papers and I love presentation. So I'm going to have 5 presentations and 5 research papers. Fine, sign the contract, sign the contract. Okay, next time you would say that these research papers are presented on this day, this day, this day, this day. This presentation would be about this topic, this topic, this topic, this topic. So the teacher knows in January 15th, this student is going to make a presentation about the class for 15 minutes. You see what I'm saying now? The teacher has, you can do it with even 3rd grade students, 4th grade students, high school students. You can do it with anyone. If you arrange it, if you look into the future, and if you organize for that, right, you do a very good job in planning. That's what we mean by planning the lesson, planning the syllabus. It's not just filling in the blanks that we have. No, this is the planning that we are talking about. You plan. So you know today that those 2 people are going to present 5 minutes each. And those 2 people would present their project that they have done, right? So you know exactly what you are doing. I'm not talking dreams. I've seen this in reality. I have been tested myself in this. I've seen it in many classes. And in the coming few days, I'll give you more and more examples, inshallah, of this. Did I explain that? Did I explain that? Teachers are doing this. So when they plan for the lesson, if they read the lesson at home, I would say, okay, even this exercise, I will drop it. I am, as a teacher, I say it's useless. There is no benefit in it. It's just all of it is very direct questions. All of them, they are under comprehension questions. None of them is comprehension. All of them begin with where, did, when, plus questions. It just requires time from anybody. A blind person can answer them. Do you see what I'm saying? So the teacher can drop this because it is not so significant. Any child can do it at home. Okay, am I clear on that? But this exercise is so important, so I am going to do it in the class. And it's not necessarily that you do it. Yes, some students would do it. When you teach a lesson, right, I'm doing it right now, and you end up with asking, how would you present my lesson differently? If you are in my place, how would you make it better? Now this question is for you. Now I'm presenting to you something new, perhaps to you. If you were me, what would you do differently from me to make it more interactive? I myself would change the setting, but anyway. Yes?
I would have add some more case studies in it.
Case studies to it.
Experience.
Very good. I
Teaching.
gave you some. Now, this is something that will come back. A good lesson would allow the opportunity for students to share their own experience. And the teacher would begin with 1 example of 2 examples. I gave some examples. Right now I said that learning contracts is an example. Example of an inspector who visited a lesson. It was me, right? Anyway, so I want you to share your example. Now, share example. You need to share examples from your personal life about this. And as administrators or leaders, you definitely have seen some examples. Can you tell me some examples? Sisters or brothers? Yes?
Since I'm into training in public speaking to Islamic public speakers,
Okay.
at times what I do after giving them the etiquette of public speaking, I go on the stage.
Okay.
And
Yes,
then
please come to the stage. It's open for you. Yeah? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I'll just
Yes,
it's
go
about
ahead.
the public speaking class.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I go on the
But we
stage.
need to do this with the students. We need to encourage them. This stage is not for you. It's for the whole class. And sometimes you sit between students. You sit here or here or here, among students. So you feel part of them. This develops their personality. The fear barrier between you and them drops when they understand that you are a normal human being. And they would love you more than they love other teachers. Again, we'll talk about this later, yes.
So I go on the stage and I speak and I make some mistakes purposely. And
Okay.
then I ask them to list how many mistakes I made.
Yes,
To
very
analyze
good.
who was attentive.
Learning
and how
by
many-
errors. Yes, learning by errors. Very good. One time I made this. I taught Salah like this, by the way. And a scholar commented at me. I said, he when he taught the Salah. So I said, thank you. I never used it again. But anyway, yeah. And this is his own opinion. But this is something good. You can make some mistakes and you ask the student to see whether they were aware of. Okay, another comment.
You could make the lesson interesting by showing some visuals.
Visuals. Oh, we'll come back to this. Yes, of course.
Basically, you have to make a lesson cater to the different needs of the children,
this is
learning
very
needs.
important. I'll talk a whole lesson about this, a whole episode about this, the use of visual and the rationale behind this. Why do we do that? Yes, scientifically, it's based on scientific facts. Okay.
Personally, I used to student to take the class himself
To
the students. I sit with the students.
yeah, yes,
And students yes.
Yes. And we usually used to do this with naughty students who cause some problems. You know, in every class there are students who cause some problems. Just give them some responsibilities and put them on the stage. There will be, everybody's looking at them, so they will start to cool down. Yeah. And you run the class and they are sitting there. They think that, yes, they are doing something positive. In fact, you are punishing them, but in a polite way. We'll talk about these techniques later, inshallah.
I have a question,
Yes.
Sheikh. It is not criticizing. There is a contradiction in concept. In first episode, you told that we should prefer akhirah and dunya in the light of abtaghi fima atakallahu dar al-akhirah
Okay.
wa la tansa nasibaka min ad-dunya.
Okay.
But
I
you
didn't
told
say that. The Quran said that.
yes. But you told that information of 2007 equal to 5,000 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
How can this? In these 5,000 years, there was the era of the Quran and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the book of the informations and knowledge.
Yeah. This is right. The Quran is still in 2007.
No, more than 2007.
More than 2007. This does not negate this at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, I said that the amount of information, right? Information about, for example, I'll give you one example. How many basic colors, how many colors in the world? How many colors in the world? Question, how many colors in the world? 3, 5. People used to talk about 5 colors, yes, right? With the invention of computers, they discovered there are. So is this enough information to tell you that? So this is a piece of information. So 16 million colors. That's why they could not find names for these colors. They have to give them some numbers or combination of codes. This is an example. It doesn't talk about the Quran. The Quran is still in 2007 and 2008. We'll discuss this after we finish this episode, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan. I hope you benefit from this and you share the benefit with others. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hush, little baby, pure and small. He created you, he created us all. Hush, little baby, don't you fear. We're never alone when Allah's so near. Hush, little baby, breathing so calm. He'll protect us all and keep us from harm. Hush, little baby, still and serene. You are a Muslim, Islam's your deen. Hush, little baby, pure and small. He created